The cold wind swept through the streets of Chicago as Layla hugged her threadbare coat tightly around her. Her shift at the local diner had ended late, again. The tips had been meager, and her rent was already 2 weeks overdue. Layla was used to surviving on the edge, quietly keeping her struggles to herself. She didn't complain, she just kept moving, because she had no one else. No family, no safety net, just her dreams of one day making it out and doing something meaningful with her life. As she hurried down the icy sidewalk, she saw a man, tall, well-built, but struggling, his arms overloaded with grocery bags that were beginning to tear. One slipped from his hands, scattering apples and a carton of milk onto the pavement. People walked past, indifferent. Some even stepped around the mess without a glance. But not Layla. She didn't think twice. "Hang on, let me help you," she said, kneeling to gather the fruit with frozen fingers. Her voice was soft, warm, like a light in the cold. The man looked up, surprised. He wore a long black coat, his salt and pepper beard flecked with snow, his deep eyes clouded with something, pain, confusion, weariness. "Thank you," he said after a pause. "I guess I wasn't expecting anyone to stop." She smiled gently. "Happens to the best of us. You okay?" He hesitated. "Honestly, no, but I will be." They shared a brief moment of silence, just two strangers connecting over spilled groceries on a frozen sidewalk. She helped him repack everything, made sure nothing had broken, and even offered him the last bus token from her pocket. "Take this," she said. "Get home safe." He looked at her like she was a mystery he couldn't solve. "What's your name?" he asked. She hesitated. "Layla." "I'm Michael," he replied, almost cautiously, as if the name itself was too heavy to say out loud. "You didn't have to help me. Most wouldn't have." Layla shrugged. "Maybe that's the problem with the world." He gave a half smile and nodded, tucking the bags into his arms. "Thank you, Layla. I won't forget this." She waved and walked away, never expecting to see him again. The next morning, Layla was back at the diner at 6 a.m. sharp. Hair pulled back, apron tied, another long day ahead. She'd been trying for weeks to get a receptionist job at this new company, Braden Tech, a booming startup that had just bought out the entire downtown building. But no callbacks, no luck. "Layla." Table 5 spilled their coffee again. Her manager barked. She rushed over, smiling politely as she cleaned up, pushing aside her own worries. Just as she headed back behind the counter, the bell above the door jingled. And in walked Michael, except he didn't look like yesterday's struggling stranger. No groceries, no worn gloves. This time, he was in a sleek navy suit. With a team of executives behind him, he walked with power, confidence, authority. Layla froze, her heart stuttered. "What?" He caught sight of her, paused, and smiled. "Layla," he said softly, stepping toward her. She looked confused, embarrassed. I didn't expect." He turned to the diner manager. "I'm Michael Braden, the new CEO of Braden Tech. I'd like to speak to your employee. Privately." The manager blinked. "Of course, Mr. Braden." Layla's eyes went wide. CEO. This was the Michael she helped. Michael led her outside. "Why didn't you tell me who you were?" she asked in disbelief. "Because yesterday, I wasn't the CEO," he said with quiet truth. "I was a man at his breaking point. I was about to shut everything down. I'd lost someone close. I was questioning if anything I built even mattered anymore." He looked at her with deep gratitude. "But you, Layla, you stopped and helped a stranger. With nothing to gain, no motive, just kindness. That reminded me who I was." Tears sprang to her eyes. He continued. "So now, I'm here to offer you something." She blinked. "A job. Not just any job. I want you on my personal team. I've read your resume. You applied for a front desk position. But I see more. I want you in training for executive assistant. Full benefits. Double what you earn here." Layla gasped. Her lips trembled. "Why me?" "Because the world needs more people like you. And because I promised I wouldn't forget." The chapter ends with Layla standing there, stunned, as snow begins to fall gently around them. And that was only the beginning. Sparkling heart, if this first chapter touched your heart, wait until you see how Layla's life transforms in chapter 2. Right finger, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for the powerful conclusion coming up next. Layla stood frozen outside the diner, snow drifting onto her shoulders, her mind whirling faster than the Chicago winds. Just 24 hours ago, she had barely made it through another shift without collapsing from exhaustion and hopelessness. And now, a stranger she helped on the sidewalk had just revealed himself as a millionaire CEO, offering her a job that could change her life. "Are you sure?" she whispered. "I'm just a waitress." Michael Braden gave a knowing smile. "You're the only person who saw me struggling and didn't turn away. That means more to me than 1,000 degrees or resumes." She didn't know what to say. Tears welled in her eyes, not from sadness, but disbelief. That same afternoon, she handed in her apron for the last time. Her coworkers clapped and cried as she left, their hearts swelling with pride and envy. Everyone had seen how hard she worked for years, never complaining, never giving up. She deserved this, and more. The first day, Braden Tech headquarters was like another world, shimmering glass, buzzing elevators, designer suits and polished shoes clicking on marble floors. Layla felt out of place in her modest outfit and secondhand heels. But Michael had arranged everything: a private tour, new wardrobe stipend, a mentor to guide her, and even a cozy office corner with a window. Still, it wasn't easy. There were whispers, side glances. She was a waitress, right? The CEO's project girl, he's probably just doing charity. But Layla held her head high, because what they didn't see was her resilience. Her late nights studying business books in her tiny room. Her natural empathy that made everyone from interns to executives feel heard. Her courage to speak up in meetings when others didn't. And slowly, things began to shift. The unexpected gift. One evening, as Michael passed by her desk, he noticed a tattered photo next to her monitor. It was of Layla as a child, holding her mother's hand in front of an old community shelter. "She passed away when I was 16, Layla said softly. "She always told me to help others no matter how little you have. That the smallest act can save someone's day." Michael was quiet for a long moment. "I wish someone like her had been there for me," he said. "After my divorce, after my brother died, I felt completely alone. Until you stopped for me in the snow." Their connection grew stronger, not romantic, but something deeper. A bond of shared brokenness. Trust. The turning point. Months passed. Layla thrived in her role. She coordinated key meetings, implemented new feedback systems, even created an employee wellness initiative that cut staff turnover by 30%. Then came the Investors Summit. Michael was set to present a massive merger plan. But on the morning of the presentation, disaster struck. He fell seriously ill. Feverish. Delirious. The entire company panicked. Layla rushed to his penthouse with tea and soup, only to find him barely conscious, whispering, "The pitch, the file." She made a choice. Layla picked up the presentation, rehearsed for hours, called in support, wrote new slides herself, and the next morning, she stood in front of 20 powerful investors, representing the CEO. The boardroom was dead silent as she began. "My name is Layla Moore. I'm the executive assistant to Mr. Braden. But more importantly, I'm someone who believes in his vision, because he believed in me when no one else would." She told their story, about the groceries, the moment on the sidewalk, and how one act of kindness built something far greater than any business. She ended with, "Braden Tech isn't just about profit. It's about people. And people like Michael Braden don't just build companies, they build hope." The room erupted in applause. 1 week later, Michael returned to the office, still recovering. When he heard what Layla had done, he sat in stunned silence. You saved the deal," he said. "You saved the whole company." She laughed nervously. "I just told the truth." Michael looked at her with a kind of pride she had never seen before. "I was going to wait a few more months, but," he reached into his desk, pulled out a sleek, navy blue folder, and handed it to her. Layla opened it, and gasped. It was a promotion letter. Title: Director of Employee Culture and Engagement. A full department, 6-figure salary, her own team. "I want you to lead something new," Michael said. "Because you don't just work hard. You make people feel seen. You did it for me. You'll do it for them." Layla was speechless. Full circle. 1 year later, Layla stood on a stage in front of 3,000 Braden Tech employees, delivering the keynote speech at the company's annual summit. Behind her was a massive screen showing 2 photos, one of her in a waitress uniform outside the diner, and one from that week, wearing a power suit, holding a microphone, smiling. "My name is Layla Moore," she began. "And this company didn't just change my job. It changed my life. She told the story again. The groceries, the sidewalk, the surprise reveal. And then she looked straight into the camera, like she was talking to every person watching. Kindness doesn't require wealth. It doesn't require status. Just heart. So if you're struggling, if you feel invisible, just know this, your story is still being written. And sometimes, the smallest choice can rewrite your entire life. Clapperboard closing message to viewers. Dove wasn't Layla's journey inspiring. A small act of kindness led to a completely new life, and now she's helping thousands more. We hope this story reminded you that every action, every decision, no matter how small, matters. Folded hands. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like, drop a kind comment, and subscribe to our channel for more life-changing stories. Loudspeaker, and remember, the next story might be yours.